Success doesn't wait for anyone. Opportunity doesn't knock for those who delay. The difference between a life that's ordinary and a life that's extraordinary is the choices you make today, tonight, and tomorrow morning. Tonight, you have the chance to start one habit, a simple, focused action that will change everything in your life. Most people drift through days without purpose, without control, blaming circumstances, waiting for something outside themselves to shift. But the truth is, your life is shaped by what you do consistently. One habit done with focus and commitment has the power to reshape your mind, your energy, and your results. It can turn fear into courage, laziness into discipline, and confusion into clarity. It doesn't matter where you are now. What matters is the small decision you make tonight. When you take ownership of one habit, you take ownership of your life. This is not theory. This is reality. Every successful person has built their world on simple actions repeated consistently. And tonight, that habit starts with you. Outline 1. Decide every night who you will become tomorrow. If you want to change your life overnight, don't start in the morning. Start the night before. Because how you end your day decides how you begin the next one. You can't go to bed in confusion and expect to wake up in control. You can't drift off with frustration and expect to rise with focus. Every powerful day starts with a clear decision before you sleep. The truth is, most people go to bed tired but not intentional. They're exhausted from doing so much, yet going nowhere. They let the day drain them instead of directing it. But the ones who grow, the ones who rise, they do one thing differently. They decide who they'll be before tomorrow comes. That's the real secret. Before your head touches the pillow, decide what kind of person you'll be when you open your eyes again. Because if you don't decide, life will decide for you. And life doesn't always choose what's best. It chooses what's easy. You'll hit snooze instead of getting up. You'll react to problems instead of creating progress. You'll chase distractions instead of building discipline. One small decision the night before separates those who stay stuck from those who move forward. It's not about doing everything right. It's about being someone new on purpose. Think about how you go to sleep. Do you end your day with intention or with noise? Most people scroll until their eyes burn, thinking they're relaxing, when really, they're robbing themselves of power. The mind never rests if it's filled with junk before bed. And that's why mornings feel heavy, because you didn't close the day clean. When you take even 5 quiet minutes at night to reset your thoughts, to decide how you'll show up tomorrow, you give yourself a gift, clarity. You build a bridge between who you are today and who you're trying to become. You see, success isn't built in the morning hustle. It's built in the evening reflection. Before you rest, review your day, not to criticize yourself, but to learn from it. Ask, what did I do well today? What can I do better tomorrow? Who do I want to be when the sun rises again? That's self-respect, the discipline of direction. You can't improve what you don't review. When you take time to do that, your nights become lessons, not escapes. And that's where real growth begins. Now, this might sound small. Deciding who you'll be tomorrow, that doesn't sound like much. But don't underestimate it, because what you do before you sleep programs your subconscious mind. The last thought you think shapes the first decision you'll make in the morning. So if you end your day thinking, I'm tired, I'm behind, I'll try again later, then that's exactly how you'll start tomorrow. But if you end your day with purpose, tomorrow I'll move with focus. I'll start strong. I'll act like the person I want to become. Then you give your mind direction. And when the mind has direction, the body follows. You can't expect greatness from a mind that's wandering. You can't expect confidence when your thoughts are scattered. Every great achievement begins in the quiet hours, when no one's watching, When you close your eyes at night with a clear decision, you're not just preparing for tomorrow, you're shaping your future, because the habit of direction compounds. Each night, you take control, you build momentum. You start waking up different, not confused, not lost, but clear. You stop chasing motivation because you already know what to do. You've already chosen your role for the next day. The truth is, you don't need to change your whole life in one day. You just need to start making small, intentional choices before each day begins. Spend 5 minutes tonight and decide 3 simple things: who you want to be, what matters most, and what you refuse to tolerate tomorrow. That's it. Write it down. Be honest with yourself. It's not about setting massive goals. It's about setting a direction. When you decide who you'll be tomorrow, you give purpose to your actions and meaning to your habits. Suddenly, waking up early makes sense. Working hard feels natural. Staying consistent becomes who you are, not what you're forced to do. Every morning you wake up with 2 options: be the same or be better. The ones who keep improving aren't the most talented. They're the most prepared. They go to bed with direction, and that makes all the difference, because a clear plan creates confidence, and confidence creates peace. The mind loves clarity. When it knows what to do next, it stops overthinking. And that's when you feel calm, focused, and in control. So if you've been feeling lost, it's not because life is unfair. It's because you're not giving yourself direction. You can start tonight. Don't wait for a new month or a new year. The habit that changes your life overnight begins right now. Sit in silence for a few minutes. Reflect on the day. Decide who you'll be when you wake up. Maybe it's more disciplined. Maybe it's more grateful, maybe it's more focused. Whatever it is, decide it. Because once you decide, the mind begins to align. That's how you build consistency. That's how you regain power. You start controlling your day before it starts controlling you. When you live this way, your days stop blending together. You stop surviving and you start building. You stop reacting and you start leading. People will notice the difference in you, not because you're doing something dramatic, but because you found direction. And direction brings peace. So tonight, before you sleep, make that decision. Write it down. Think about it. Feel it. Because that small nightly habit, deciding who you'll be tomorrow, will become the foundation for the rest of your life. You'll start sleeping with peace, waking with purpose, and moving with power. And that's how your life begins to change. Not someday, but overnight. Outline 2. Wake up early and take full control of your day. You want to know the difference between the people who win and the people who wish? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's control. The ones who take control of their day control their life. And that control starts early. You can't wake up at the last minute, rush through your morning, and expect to live a disciplined life. You can't begin your day reacting to everything around you and think you'll ever feel in charge. If you want your life to move forward, you've got to take the first hour of the day and make it yours. Because if you don't own your morning, someone else will. Every day begins with a choice: to wake up early and lead your life, or to sleep in and follow the noise. Most people wake up late and spend their mornings catching up. They wake up tired, stressed, scrolling, reacting, always behind. But the ones who rise early walk different. They're calm. They move with intention. They don't start the day on defense. They start on offense. They decide what the day will be before the world tells them what to do. Waking up early isn't about impressing anyone. It's about taking back your power. It's about showing yourself that you, not the alarm clock, run your life. There's something special about those early hours. It's quiet. No one's calling. No one's asking for anything. That's the time when you can actually think. That's when you can build the version of yourself that the rest of the world will see later. But most people waste it. They stay in bed, telling themselves they'll start tomorrow. The problem is, tomorrow never feels like the right day to begin. So life becomes one long cycle of waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time, waiting for things to get easier. But the truth is, nothing changes until you start owning the early hours. I tell people, discipline begins before the day starts. Because once the day takes off, distractions are everywhere. If you don't prepare your mind before the noise begins, the world will decide what matters to you. And it won't be your goals. It'll be their demands, their opinions, their priorities. That's why waking up early isn't just a routine. It's protection. It's the moment you guard your mind. It's the time you build your own energy before life drains it away. That first hour can decide how strong you stand, how focused you stay, and how productive you become. Some people say, I'm not a morning person, but that's not true. You've just built the wrong habits. You've trained yourself to sleep through your potential. You've gotten used to comfort instead of clarity. You can train yourself to become anything, but it starts with a decision. Waking up early isn't about the time on the clock. It's about the level of control you have over yourself. Because when you can command yourself to rise when you don't feel like it, you're training discipline. You're teaching yourself that feelings don't decide your actions. Principles do. And that's the foundation of every successful life. When you wake up early, you give yourself something more valuable than time. You give yourself direction. You start the day deciding what matters most. You move with clarity. You're not in a rush. You're not trying to catch up. You've already set the tone. You can plan your goals, review your progress, work out, read, reflect, or simply sit in silence and prepare. That time is sacred. That's when your best thoughts come. That's when your mind is sharp and your will is strong. It's not about how much you do, it's about how intentional you become. There's a kind of confidence that comes from knowing you've already accomplished something before most people wake up. It's not arrogance, it's pride in your discipline. You start feeling more capable, more organized, more alive. The morning becomes your edge. You begin to realize that life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who prepare. You stop saying, I'll try. You start saying, I will. Because the more control you have over your mornings, the more control you'll have over your days. And when you control your days, you control your life. Now, don't think it's easy. Waking up early requires you to win a battle every morning, the battle against comfort. That bed will whisper to you. It'll tell you to stay, to rest, to take one more hour. But comfort never created growth. Every time you win that small battle, you strengthen your character. You prove to yourself that your will is stronger than your excuses. And here's the truth. That small victory compounds. It builds into habits. Habits build consistency, and consistency builds confidence. Over time, that's how ordinary people become extraordinary, by winning small battles before sunrise. You've got to understand something. Life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you demand. And waking up early is a declaration that you demand more from yourself. It's not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming in control. You'll start noticing changes, not just in productivity, but in mindset. You'll walk taller, think clearer, and act faster. You'll feel like the day works for you instead of against you. And that's when real change begins. When you take control of your mornings, you start building momentum that carries through the entire day. So start tomorrow. Don't wait for motivation. Set your alarm. Wake up early. Sit in silence. Plan your day. And move your body, feed your mind, and then watch how the world begins to respond to you differently. You'll notice that opportunities come easier. You'll see that challenges feel smaller. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Remember this? The world belongs to those who take control of their mornings. So wake up early, take control, stop chasing time and start creating it. Because once you learn to master your mornings, everything else in life starts falling into place. Outline 3. Write down your goals before you touch your phone. Writing down your goals before you touch your phone might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful habits you can build. Because the moment you wake up, your mind is fresh, your focus is clear, and your energy is pure. That's when your thoughts have the most power. But what most people do is they wake up and immediately grab their phone. They scroll through messages, check social media, and flood their mind with everyone else's life before they've even thought about their own. And right there, they lose control of the day. They start living in reaction instead of intention. You can't lead your life if you're always reacting to someone else's. When you write your goals first thing in the morning, you're sending a message to your mind. My life matters. My direction matters. My focus matters. You remind yourself of what you're working toward before the world distracts you. That's how strong people think. They anchor their minds before the chaos begins. You see, goals written in the morning aren't just words on paper. They're instructions to your brain. They tell your subconscious where to focus, what to notice, and what to move toward. Without those written goals, your mind will drift. It will wander through the day, following impulses, distractions, and emotions. But with them, you move with clarity. Think about it. When you touch your phone first, you're letting the world dictate what matters to you. You see notifications, and suddenly your energy belongs to someone else. You start your day reacting to other people's priorities. But when you write your goals first, you take that power back. You tell yourself, I decide what's important today. And that single decision can change everything, because direction is stronger than motivation. You don't need to feel inspired to act. You just need to know where you're going. Writing down your goals every morning builds something powerful, self-trust. Every time you write them, you're reinforcing a promise to yourself. You're saying, I haven't forgotten what I'm chasing. Most people forget their goals by lunch. They wake up inspired, but the noise of the world drowns out their purpose. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is that the first group keeps reminding themselves. They write it, they see it, they feel it, and they act on it daily. Because repetition builds belief. The more you write it, the more your mind accepts it as truth. And when your mind believes something deeply, it begins to move toward it naturally. This habit isn't about fancy notebooks or perfect handwriting. It's about focus. You can write your goals on a piece of paper, in a journal, or even on your phone later. But the key is to do it before the distractions start. Before the texts, before the news, before the noise. It's about training your mind to wake up with purpose instead of confusion. You have to learn to tell your brain, this is where we're going today. This is what matters. That's how you win the day before it even begins. Now, you might think, I already know my goals in my head. But here's the truth. What stays in your head gets forgotten. What's written on paper gets acted on. Writing forces. It takes your thoughts out of the clouds and puts them into the world where they can be measured and built upon. You can't improve what you haven't defined. You can't reach what you haven't written down. And when you start writing your goals every morning, you're not just planning your future, you're programming your mind to chase it with discipline and direction. This single act of writing your goals first changes how you see the day. You stop being aimless. You stop drifting. You move with intention. You start saying no more often because you know what deserves your yes. You start valuing your time more because you can see how precious it is. When you know what you're after, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. And suddenly your life starts to take shape, not by chance, but by choice. The people who achieve great things don't just dream. They write, They take 5 minutes every morning to write what they want, why they want it, and how they'll move toward it today. That's how you build momentum. You don't wait for a big breakthrough. You create small, clear steps that add up. When you write, when you think, you focus, and when you focus, you act. It's that simple. Success isn't about intensity. It's about consistency. And this habit creates both. When you start your day by writing your goals, you set the tone for the next Sherlock hours. Your actions begin to align. You find yourself making better decisions, what to eat, who to talk to, what to spend time on, all because your mind is anchored to your purpose. You stop reacting to life and start designing it. That's the power of writing before scrolling. It gives you control over your direction instead of letting the world scatter your focus. So, tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, grab a pen. Write what you want to achieve. Write what matters most today. Write who you want to become. It doesn't have to be long, it just has to be honest. And when you do it, feel that quiet moment of control. That's where real change begins. Not when the world applauds you, not when someone believes in you, but when you take the first 5 minutes of your morning to believe in yourself. Write your goals before you touch your phone, and you'll start living your life instead of scrolling through someone else's. Outline 4. End each day by reviewing what you actually did. When the day ends, most people simply collapse and forget it ever happened. They go to bed thinking about tomorrow without ever considering what actually occurred today. They don't stop to measure their actions, their choices, their accomplishments, or even their failures. And that is the reason why so many people feel stuck. They work hard, they try, but nothing seems to change. Change doesn't come from effort alone. It comes from awareness, reflection, and adjustment. You cannot improve what you don't inspect. The simple act of reviewing your day builds clarity and power that most people never even consider. When you take time at night to review your actions, you hold yourself accountable. You confront the truth of your day, and that truth is invaluable. Did you spend your time in alignment with your goals, or did distractions pull you off course? Yeah. Did you contribute value, or did you merely fill hours? Did you grow a little, or did you remain stagnant? Most people never ask these questions, and that is why they drift through life. But when you make reviewing your day a habit, you begin to sharpen your decisions, refine your priorities, and take control of your trajectory. Reviewing your day is not about judging yourself harshly or feeling guilty. It's about observation and understanding. It's about looking at your actions without excuses and asking yourself, did I do what matters today? Too many people justify laziness or distraction with stories about why things were difficult. They say, I didn't have enough time, or I was too tired, or I had responsibilities. But those excuses don't build character. They don't build results. Only the honest reflection of your own efforts and actions produces growth. The night is your chance to be honest without judgment. Start by asking yourself simple, clear questions. What did I accomplish today? What tasks or habits moved me closer to my goals? What distractions or wasted moments pulled me away? What decisions did I make that were smart, and which decisions were careless? What conversations added value, and which conversations drained me? Writing down your answers is even more powerful. When you record your reflections, you give them weight. They become tangible, something you can see, measure, and improve upon tomorrow. Without reflection, mistakes are repeated and victories are forgotten. The beauty of reviewing your day is that it trains your mind to notice patterns. You begin to see what works and what doesn't. You start identifying the small actions that produce results and the small habits that hold you back. Success is rarely created by massive leaps. It is created by tiny, deliberate steps taken consistently over time. Reflection allows you to spot these steps. It allows you to replicate success and eliminate errors. Over time, this habit alone separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. People who fail to reflect drift aimlessly. Those who do reflect move purposefully. Reflection also brings clarity. Most people claim they are busy, but at the end of the day, they realize they spent most of their time on trivial matters. They say they want results, but their actions tell a different story. Reviewing your day forces alignment between your intentions and your actions. It shows whether your energy was invested wisely or scattered. And when you see misalignment, you have a choice. You can correct it tomorrow. You can stop wasting time. You can focus. That is how success compounds. Awareness becomes action, and action becomes results. Another critical part of reviewing your day is celebrating your wins. Too many people focus only on failures or missed opportunities. They forget the progress they made, however small. But growth is built on recognition. Each completed task, each good decision, each moment of discipline deserves acknowledgement. It reinforces your confidence and motivates you to continue. By ending each day reviewing not only what you missed, but also what you achieved, you build a mindset of progress and gratitude. You start seeing life as a series of opportunities rather than a series of setbacks. Reflection also strengthens your discipline. Discipline isn't built in a single act, it is reinforced repeatedly over time. By reviewing your day, you train yourself to notice when you faltered, when you gave in to temptation, or when you allowed laziness to creep in. You hold yourself accountable in a kind but firm way. And as you continue this habit nightly, your ability to stay focused and disciplined during the day grows naturally. Your decisions become deliberate rather than impulsive. Your actions become intentional rather than automatic. This habit is like a mirror. It shows you your truth, and your truth guides your growth. End-of-day review also teaches emotional resilience. When you see mistakes clearly, you learn to separate your actions from your self-worth. You understand that failure is not personal, it's feedback. Each day is a lesson, each mistake is a teacher. And by reviewing calmly and thoughtfully, you can absorb the lesson without being discouraged. You stop making excuses, stop blaming circumstances, and stop waiting for others to validate your progress. You own your results fully. That is where power comes from. Owning your life and your growth without seeking approval or complaining about conditions. Finally, reviewing your day gives you a roadmap for tomorrow. You end the night with a clear understanding of what must be prioritized, what must be corrected, and what must be repeated. You go to bed with clarity, purpose, and focus, and when you wake up ready to act. You don't waste energy wondering what to do. You don't start the day distracted or reactive. You start the day empowered, intentional, and ready to win. The one habit of reviewing your day nightly may seem small, but over weeks, months, and years, it transforms your results, your habits, and your life entirely. Outline 5. Refuse to sleep without learning something new today. Every day offers a chance to grow, but most people ignore it. They go through life passively, consuming time instead of knowledge, allowing opportunities to slip through their fingers. One habit separates the people who make progress from those who stay stuck. They commit to learning something new every single day. Refusing to go to sleep without gaining new knowledge is not about cramming or overloading your mind. It's about deliberately expanding your perspective, sharpening your skills, and feeding your potential. Growth begins with learning, and without it, stagnation becomes inevitable. Learning daily transforms your mindset and your results. Knowledge is power, but not knowledge in theory. Applied knowledge. Reading, observing, practicing, and understanding give you tools you can use immediately to improve your life. Each new lesson shapes your thinking, changes your decisions, and improves your actions. The habit of learning something new daily trains your mind to seek solutions instead of problems. It builds confidence because you start realizing that no matter the challenge, you can figure it out. Each small lesson compounds over time, creating massive transformation. The first step is to make learning non-negotiable. Decide tonight, right now, that you will not go to bed until you learn something valuable. It could be reading a page of a book, listening to a short lecture, or reflecting on a lesson from experience. It doesn't matter the format. What matters is that you commit and follow through. Discipline begins with small, consistent actions. Every day you keep this promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-control and deepen your commitment to personal growth. Learning daily also develops. When you expose yourself to new ideas, different perspectives, and unfamiliar concepts, your mind begins to connect dots in ways it never has before. Creativity does not come from doing the same things repeatedly. It emerges when you expand your understanding and challenge your assumptions. Every new insight you gain during your daily learning becomes a seed for innovation. Over time, your ability to think critically, solve problems, and see opportunities multiplies. You begin to notice solutions that others overlook because you have trained your mind to grow constantly. This habit also builds. Life will always throw challenges in your path, and it's the prepared mind that navigates them successfully. When you learn something new every day, you equip yourself with ideas, strategies, and knowledge to handle adversity. You stop feeling overwhelmed because you have resources to draw upon. You start seeing obstacles as temporary setbacks that can be overcome. Knowledge strengthens your inner confidence and allows you to act decisively. By refusing to sleep without learning, you are continually building your mental toolbox, preparing yourself for any situation life may present. Learning daily increases your influence. People are drawn to those who know more, understand more, and can offer insights. When you consistently seek knowledge, you naturally become a person others respect and listen to. Conversations, decisions, and guidance you provide improve because your mind is constantly expanding. Influence is not about manipulation. It's about competence and value. The more you learn, the more value you offer to yourself and to others. Over time, this habit doesn't just transform your knowledge, it transforms your relationships, your reputation, and your opportunities. The habit also fosters humility. When you commit to learning daily, you remind yourself that you do not know everything. You remain open to new ideas and feedback. This humility is powerful because it keeps your mind flexible and adaptive. Stubbornness and complacency are enemies of success, but learning continuously creates curiosity and openness. You start listening more, observing more, and understanding more. You learn from mistakes instead of repeating them. You adjust and improve. And that is how ordinary people begin to achieve extraordinary results. One lesson, one night, one habit at a time. Another advantage of nightly learning is that it fuels long-term success. Every bit of knowledge gained today builds your foundation for tomorrow. Small steps compound into significant advantages over time. The person who reads, reflects, and practices daily eventually surpasses the person who waits for sudden opportunities or shortcuts. Success is built on consistent preparation, and this habit is a cornerstone of that preparation. Each day, you go to bed a little wiser, a little stronger, and a little more capable than yesterday. That continuous growth is unstoppable when maintained faithfully over months and years. Daily learning also improves focus and prioritization. When you know you must learn something before sleep, you structure your day differently. You become conscious of wasted time and unnecessary distractions. You start using your time intentionally, investing in activities that grow your mind and your potential. The habit forces you to evaluate what matters most because time is limited and knowledge is endless. This discipline and clarity spill over into other areas of life. creating habits of effectiveness, productivity, and self-mastery. Your days become purposeful rather than random. Finally, refusing to sleep without learning transforms your confidence. Confidence is built on competence, and competence is built on knowledge and practice. Every day you grow, you strengthen your belief in yourself. You start realizing that no matter the challenge, you are capable of learning, adapting, and overcoming. This confidence drives action, which produces results. You no longer wait for conditions to be perfect to control and create your success. One habit, practiced nightly, may seem small, but over time, it changes your mindset, your actions, and ultimately your life completely. Many people live without awareness, drifting through days, distracted by notifications, and consumed by the opinions of others. But you are different. You have chosen awareness. You have chosen action. You have chosen to control your life instead of being controlled by it. This is the moment that separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers wait for life to happen. Doers create life deliberately. When you decide to embrace this one habit, you take the steering wheel in your hands. You determine the direction of your life. You refuse to be a passenger. You refuse to leave your future to chance. Remember, success is never accidental. It is intentional. It is the result of doing things consistently that most people are unwilling to do. It is the quiet, relentless work that nobody notices at first. But when compounded over time, that work becomes extraordinary results. You may not see the change immediately, but it is happening. Your efforts are building invisible momentum. Your habits are shaping your character. Your consistency is forming your future. And the person you become in the process is far more valuable than the rewards themselves. This is not about instant gratification. This is about long-term transformation. This is about making a commitment to yourself that your life matters, that your time matters, that your potential is too great to be wasted on excuses, delays, or distractions. Every decision you make is a declaration of who you are and who you intend to become. Refuse to drift. Refuse to procrastinate. Refuse to settle for anything less than what you are capable of achieving. The habit you adopt tonight is more than a routine. It is a statement. It says, I am ready. I am capable. I am disciplined. I take control of my life. I take responsibility for my future. I will not rely on luck or circumstance. I will not blame others for where I am. I will act. I will commit. I will persist. And every day, I will get a little better than I was yesterday. Understand this. Life rewards those who take responsibility. Life honors those who act consistently. Life gives results to those who do the work, even when no one is watching. Your future will reflect the effort you put in today. The results will come, but the true transformation is in you. The way you think, the way you act, the way you see challenges, they all shift when you commit to the right habit. You are no longer the same person who was indecisive yesterday. You are someone who chooses to take control, someone who refuses to wait for permission, someone who refuses to settle. Every evening you review your day. Every morning you start with intention. Every hour you focus on what matters most. These are not small actions. These are the steps that build a life of freedom, fulfillment, and success. When you act consistently, you begin to see the unseen. You begin to feel the strength you never realized you had. You begin to understand that the power to change your life has always been within you. It was never outside. It was never someone else's responsibility. It was yours. So, tonight, commit to the habit, commit to the action, commit to yourself. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Start now and understand that every effort you put in compounds. Every step forward builds momentum. Every discipline practiced strengthens character. Your life does not change by chance. It changes by choice. And tonight, by choosing this habit, you choose a better life, a stronger future, and a version of yourself that is unstoppable, resilient, and fulfilled. The journey will not always be easy. There will be distractions. There will be obstacles. There will be days when you feel tired or unmotivated, but these are tests, not excuses. Each challenge is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are committed, that your habit is stronger than your doubts, that your future is worth the effort. And when you persist, when you show up for yourself every day, the transformation becomes inevitable. The life you dreamed of becomes real. The person you wanted to be stands before you. And all it took was one habit embraced consistently, starting tonight. Your life begins tonight. Your future starts with a habit you commit to right now. No one can do this for you. No one can give you the results. You must claim them. You must earn them. You must live them. And when you do, the change will be undeniable. The habit you embrace tonight is the first step toward freedom, success, and a life of true accomplishment. Take it. Take it. Commit to it, practice it, and watch as your life transforms overnight and every day after that in ways you never thought possible.